Grand balls, terrifying traditions, and costume contests. This is Gluttony and Earth. Hello and welcome to the IDL. My name's Nick and this is Gluttony and Earth. And I need to know, Kyle, how does it feel being in the top 500 of Overwatch?
Top 500?
Yeah.
Like bottom 5, got him.
Bottom 500.
Not even there yet.
It's your porn name.
500 all at once.
Yeah. Adam, how does it feel knowing that you single-handedly fought off Hurricane Ian?
Great. Just excellent. I don't know if I actually won that fight, though.
You don't know? Well, you're here. I think you should see the other guy. And then BakaZombie, I want to know. I want to get this guess. I don't know if this is going to be a reoccurring bit, but where do you think you are right now? This is coming out at midnight, October 31st. Do you think you're on your way home, or do you think you're at your parents' house?
Midnight going into October 30th?
Yeah,
I guess, that would be.
Because that would be the Monday this releases.
The Monday this release. I'll probably be at home. I think I'm going to go home on Sunday evening.
Okay.
So I can sit in my apartment alone, turning 31 years old.
You had to pause in there. I thought you were turning 30 again.
No, I just had to breathe because I didn't plan my sentence out enough.
No, I get that. I do that all the time. I talk more than I breathe. So today I want to know. I was thinking about this at work today. It just kind of popped up to me. My headphones died, so I had to charge them. So I'm lost in just my own thoughts. Terrifying, I know, but even more terrifying. I'm wondering, like, do you guys do you like horror movies, like as a genre, or is there like a specific like subgenre you like particularly? Do you have like your main squeeze of horror films?
I don't fuck with horror normally. Like, there's a very small sliver of horror that I can deal with.
Yeah.
Just because I am naturally a very paranoid person. So then any of the like stalker, someone's in your house, someone's gonna get you when you're walking type of shit doesn't really fly for me. Yeah, so like a very select sliver of horror I can deal with.
Okay. But it's not the kind where someone is watching you and about to strike.
No, not at all.
You wouldn't like The Purge or I can't think of it now. It's like All Alone, but that's not the title. It's some like
Home Alone?
No, Home Alone. Adam, how scared are you of Home Alone? If Joe Pesci were to appear outside of your window right now.
Kyle's been nodding his head this whole day.
Yeah, he's been bobbing.
I love horror movies. I love horror movies, especially where there's like a final girl. I love that. I love a final girl kicking ass.
Oh, the virgin wins at the end trope.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
The Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods
plays heavily into that, like those archetypes and tropes, and that's
which what? Scream? I forgot her name. Fuck. I'm a fake fan.
Anna
Barrymore.
It's Anna. No, it's not Anna. No, I'm thinking of Anna, but Anna played that person in a Scary Movie. I'm trying to think of the actual person who I actually just like 2 days ago they were talking about this person on a podcast. Now I can't. I've lost my mind. No, I love horror films too. I used to hate them as a kid. Like I would watch one. If I saw one, I would have to stay up for 3 hours before I could go to bed because I was just so freaked out by it. I think Nightmare on Elm Street and Candyman were particularly traumatizing for me. But now I'm just fucked up and I love them. My particular one that I'm big into is the 1999 film Audition, which is like this. So it's a Japanese horror film. It was like on a top 100 list that I saw on some cable network. They were going through like all the films, whatever. So I checked it out, and I'm like in middle school, maybe at this point, maybe like late elementary, something like that. And it's like this like lonely Japanese dude. His wife's dead. His kid's grown up at this point. He's kind of distant. And someone like gets him. His friend is like a TV producer, and he's like, "Hey, I'm gonna set you up with we're gonna do a fake audition for a role, and then you can sit in and you can figure out if you like any of these girls, and we'll get you to date them." And he does, and he picks this one woman who, like, very tormented person. It's very body horror. Oh. Like, I think she cuts through a guy's ankle with piano wire at some point, and she like has a guy that she's like trained to live in a giant sack who she releases to go and eat her puke. That's the only food he gets. It's real fucky. But it's really good. I love it.
No.
Do you have Kyle, did you have like a film specifically that you're into, or?
Recently, it's been a while, but like recently, Gonjam. It's a Korean horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
Gonjam Haunted Asylum. It's basically a group of, I think they're teens. They're like those paranormal people on TV. Like, oh, look at this cool horror site. Yada yada. Turns out they were just doing it for views. They don't think it's actually really haunted. Turns out it's actually haunted. They get fucked up. One by one, they all go down, type of thing. And it's... what is it? It's like a... have you guys watched Grave Encounters? Kind of like that.
I do not know what that is.
It's set up like a found footage type of thing.
Oh, okay.
I think that so far has been my favorite that I've watched recent.
Is that also like a found footage one, or is it just
Grave Encounters?
No. The
Gonjam?
Gonjam.
I don't know how to pronounce it. Because
is it like, I was gonna say, is it like found footage, or is it more like Paranormal Activity where it's like purposefully recorded versus found footage where that's usually like
Blair Witch?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's more so found footage. Later on into the movie, it's more so found footage because you get to see it. They put on cameras on their bodies. You get to see it from their perspective.
Oh, okay.
Like shaky camera movement. They're running around, all that type.
Well, last but not least, BakaZombie. Are you a horror fan? The good old horrorhead, as they're called. Horrorhead.
Somewhat. I'm not a fan of jump scares in general. It's stupid. Especially the scary music leading up, you know what's coming. Yeah. It's like that's not entertaining to me. I like a lot of like creepy stuff. Like Halloween is one of my favorite movies, the original first one. And part of not generally liking horror movies is just as a kid I was afraid of everything, so I didn't really have that lead up. And to the point where even still to this day, I'll be like, oh, if there's jump scares, I'm not going to go in a haunted house ever. I don't fuck with haunted houses. Never been one, never will. Went to one haunted hayride as a kid, never again. And even more recently, my friend invited me to go to a show, and it wasn't until after she invited me, she's like, oh, it's Ghost Files. I'm like, oh no, is that gonna be like they're gonna run around the crowd and scare you and shit? But it wasn't like I didn't end up going because I had to work. But it was just they were showing it's these people that go and investigate hauntings and stuff, and they were just showing two of their upcoming YouTube episodes and doing a Q&A after, which sounded fun. But I just had to work, so they were the guys who they did like the Goat Man on the bridge was one of their things that they did at one point, and
they used to be BuzzFeed Unsolved.
Yeah.
I have been watching their stuff lately because that's the kind of stuff I can deal with, where it's like, ooh, it's just a little spooky.
I started watching it too after she talked about it, and then I realized they were the Goat Man people.
Mm-hmm.
On your bridge, goat man.
It's my bridge now. Children tell stories of me.
It's like the only thing I know from the original series.
I'll have to check out the Goat Man. That sounds interesting.
I love the Goat
I'm usually
Man.
not as big into like paranormal investigation stuff, but so like like if you're making chocolate milk and it says 2 tablespoons, like, but instead if you're like scooping up some horror powder, you guys might like a half a tablespoon.
Yes,
but I prefer like
I like fair
3
like chocolate
tablespoons.
milk.
I
Doesn't have
prefer
lactose.
4 shot whipped cream, oat milk.
really losing it in the weeds with this. Instantly, you gotta bail on this analogy. Just gotta.
Well, speaking of meandering, time for the recap.
The hell are we yelling about?
The recap. We're yelling about the recap. Last episode, you guys had a bit of a doozy. You guys had a bit of a close encounter.
Mm-hmm.
Not of the third kind. I don't know if that was the right word. Is it close encounters of the third kind?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. I was right. Fuck you.
No one was opposing you.
I self-doubted. So I said, fuck you to me. Trust me, I'm the one who's going to have to hear this later to act. So I'll get to hear the fuck you. Where you guys were in the water, you plunged down. Callus knocked out Thellum by stabbing him a bunch in the rib. And the orb that caused the bubble started flowing away. And things were not good because the current was strong. Thellum, obviously, unconscious, choking already. Endien tries to get up to the top, is swept under by the tides. Callus also in the water, being swept under by the tides. And it's only because of some quick thinking on Darius's part, where he goes in, unhooks the bag of holding from Thellum, puts Thellum in his bag of holding to get a bit more air. Not as much as he'd like because the water like flooding in. But then he's like, oh, I got to swim down to Endien and get Endien in the bag. Endien, in a last-ditch effort, like last hopeful, sacrifices some of her breath to try and speak with animals to ask the fishes for help. They all seem to disperse away at that, and she dives into the bag. Darius swims his hardest, but finally the currents start pulling him under, and he's unable to make it to the top as easy as he'd like. He's losing breath. People might die, and just as he's about to get to the top, he is swallowed by something from below. Inside the mouth of this beast, Darius finally lets out Thellum and lets out Endien to catch their breaths now that they're in somewhat safety. Callus also swallowed up in that moment because he was also there. Things get contested. Everyone's really heated about everything, as usual. Eventually, the beast leads you to land, where you end up on a beach of one of the islands, and a little bit more arguing. And Endien and Thellum leave Darius and Callus to do whatever they will do. And Darius tries to kill Callus, bringing him down to a measly 2 HP, before Callus then takes the artifact in his hand, that was like his necklace artifact, and teleports away. You guys then find some safety in the storm, in the woods. You keep watches. You're starting to, think back about this, all that's been happening to you in the last day or so, left alone with your thoughts in the storm. Eventually, you realize you are on the same island that Gillivan Dubois has his manor. You get to him, you explain what happened. He pays you individually, and then invites you to a ball, the Fomorian Ball, which is a centered around a holiday dedicated to the moon Fomoria, and everyone starts to skip off to prepare for the ball when Thellum stays back and's like, hey, are you gonna go get that gold? And he's like, maybe. And it's like, well, I've got a thing that dropped down there. Could you get this for me? I'd be really grateful. And he's like, you know what? We'll see what we can do. And he sends you guys off. And that's where we left off. So you guys have a little bit about a week until the ball happens. You can do a little bit of downtime stuff. It's probably not going to be a lot of the stuff you'd like to do, just based on the fact that it's still stormy now. You'll like the storm as the week goes by. It's a little bit less and less and less. Like the storms aren't as bad as they have been. So you're able to go out and do shopping as you need. It's not that big of an issue. Most people here are used to this weather, so they are, prepared to do the kind of business they need to do. Maybe about a week. I mean, I'm going to be a little bit more loose about what the downtime things you do are. So if you want to let me, say if you use anything specific that you want to do before we get to the full moon, just let me know.
Thellum strength training.
What does he?
He has 8 more to do.
Yeah. Well, how does he go in about the strength training here?
Because there's a facility in here, right?
Oh yeah, with the straw dummies and that such. Are you wrestling straw dummies, or do you think you're?
If I would ask Gilvin if there is anyone I could train with, or I could just, I guess, break his straw dummies.
Yeah, I mean he's able to get you. There's like a big strong man.
Big strong man.
Probably like one of the laborers on the island. Probably like someone who does like a lot of like the offloading for shipments and stuff. So yeah, he's able to get you a guy down there to help you. And are you just sparring? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and do another check.
It was just a pure strength roll, right? I want to say.
I think before you were doing attack rolls, so you can go ahead and give me an athletics check.
22.
22. Okay, yeah, that's a pass. So yeah, you get some good workout in with this guy. Surprising how good a fighter he is, but you're able to get the workout you need. He's pretty available, so you're able to like work with him for a while every day.
Thanks, Eduardo.
No problem, Thellum. You got a clean fist.
Just because he's pressed meditation on it recently.
Yeah. Between that and drowning, this is the cleanest Thellum's ever been.
Shirt is even more white.
His shirt turns from beige to white.
How about Darius and Endien? Do you have anything particular you want to do? Shopping you can do. There's mostly shopping. I don't know if you have any resources to do anything on your own, if you're with your own equipment or nothing. So go ahead and just let her rip.
I have 2 things that aren't like rolls.
Okay, yeah.
I would just because mostly I forgot about it in the moment. I would write a note essentially to Lord Dubois to the effect of, "Dear Lord," or "Lord Dubois, it slipped my mind in my exhaustion after our duties. Over the course of our mission in alleviating yourself of the thieves of your gold, we did use 2 potions of greater healing and 1 potion of regular healing as per standard employment practices. If you are able to either resupply those items or an equivalent gold amount, it would be greatly appreciated. If you cannot provide while we are still here, you can send them to the Smiths Guild in New Veneer, and then sign it Darius Crucibleborn, seal it up, and just hand it to one of the servants to give to the Lord whenever.
Jennings Smith takes the letter and walks off with it.
Thanks, Kyle.
I'm also going to purchase a rapier, just a regular rapier.
Yeah, no, not too bad to have something on hand like that. You never know when you're going to need it. It's just a different type of tool for the job compared to your fists or your lightning launcher.
Yeah.
Your 4 starts. You don't hear back yet for a bit, but yeah, you've already put a contingency for if you don't get it while you're on the island.
Yeah, I'm also like, if I don't hear from him, or if then like when we get back I don't hear from him, I would essentially be like, someone's cheaping me out on what I'm owed, and that will have its own repercussions. And he is not a person to do that.
Kill
so I'm
everybody.
not worried about it.
Okay. Does Endien got any goals to spend the week?
As far as things she wants to do, just like the things she'll be spending random time doing, she'll do her bow training and her short sword training, and she'll be spending time in the forest and relaxing and getting the boys in the spa. So we have spa days, some mani-pedis, and like the only major thing that would count towards any like downtime activity stuff would be calling her father to try and get some court appropriate attire for the ball, so that it's like it's representative of the court she's come from, but also it's not her normal court outfit that she usually has. Something more fancy for a ball.
Yeah, you call your father and you have like these requests. Well, unfortunately, I'm not so sure we're able to get something out to you there so quickly.
I understand.
Especially during these. Normally I would have Ildatha fly it out, but the storms, I don't know if he'll make it the full trip.
It's more than fair. I can look around here and see what I can find from the tailors and things.
So what brings you out there all the way out to,
wherever we are?
Lazaret.
Lazaret? We took a job out here, me and a couple of my compatriots, to help the, was he a lord? What is this guy? What's his title?
I don't think I've ever said a title, but it would be lord.
All right, yeah. To help the lord out here with some of his affairs.
And how's it going? I seem it probably very well if you're getting to attend this ball that he's hosting.
Yes,
or is that the mission?
No, we're invited as guests to that. We just had to make sure that his supplies were safe to be traveling across the waters so you could get them where they need to be, and we were able to accomplish that.
Oh, very well done.
How is everything there?
A bit of the usual, I'd say. No better or no worse since last we spoke.
That's good news, then.
Yes, I think maintenance is better than nothing.
Well, I will stop keeping you from your duties, then.
Yes, of course. Well, I hope you have a good time, and hopefully you will be able to find something that will best suit you out there. I thought you kept a gown with you, usually.
I have one. It's not quite going to the ball status, but that would, I think, is that back in my apartment currently.
Oh, of course, of course.
I didn't expect to be invited to such an event coming out here.
All right, well, I'll be waiting to hear about whatever adventures you get on next.
Of course. Damn it.
No, it was a good plan. It's just unfortunately I was thinking to myself, like, how would you get that there in this amount of time? Other than like he snaps his finger and it appears.
We had a week.
Yeah.
That's why I thought possibly because he got the boots to Nuvenir in a week.
Yeah, and that's honestly I'll say Nuvenir is not that far from the court.
Yeah, and it took us like a week to get here.
Yeah.
All right, I will sweep off to Gillivan Dubois when he has a chance to speak with me, so I can ask about suitable wardrobe tailors within the area to make me a ball gown.
Oh, yes, of course. There is a tailor and a boutique in town that should be pretty good at providing suitable garments.
Perfect. I will meet with them then and see what we can come up with.
Oh, and
within the time allotted.
I wasn't sure if Thellum got around to saying it or not, but it is a masquerade, to let you know.
Oh, that is.
I did ask him to let you know last I saw him, but I wasn't sure if he got around to it or not.
He's been busy with his strength training.
Oh yes, with Eduardo.
Yes, it's. I try not to be in the room when they're doing their trainings. It seems like a private affair.
Yes. Well, anything else, or?
I don't think so. At the time, it's all going well, getting ready for.
Oh yes, I was actually in the middle of making sure the catering was going smoothly.
Oh, I won't hinder your progress any longer then. Thank you for the suggestion.
Of course. Yeah, if you guys go through town, I don't know if anyone's going with her. I don't know if that's a thing you do.
I feel like Endien is going to make us go with her so that we also have appropriate attire. Yeah. I don't think we have a choice.
I think she would go first alone to make sure it's good, and then make those other two go.
And Thellum avoid Endien.
You can't avoid me.
I
am the darkness. I am the darkness. Just standing in a corner in the shadows, waiting for Thellum to walk past. He can't see her in the dark.
We can't see anything in the dark.
Oh, he has dark vision now.
I know. Yeah. I didn't stop him last time.
Thellum, it's time for your fitting.
Yeah, if you go there, it's just named Gale's Boutique. It's very high fashion, high quality. You probably guess that he gave you this advice, mentioned this boutique, probably because he also gets his clothes done here. Mm-hmm. So it's very high end. So you're able to find something if you want from here. Oh, dearie. What are you looking for?
I was sent by Lord Dubois to get a ball gown made for the upcoming masquerade.
Oh, you're going as well.
Yes.
That's very wonderful. I'm sure you'll do well there.
Yes, and I've 2 acquaintances that will be joining me as well that I will be bringing here.
Ooh. Well, I'm excited to work on something new. Tell me, are you excited to go? Is this your first ball? I haven't seen you before.
My first here, yes, but...
Oh, yes, I'm excited too. Every year there's attending? What?
Are you attending?
Yes, of course, I go every year.
Oh,
the Dubois put on a fabulous ball. Lots of food, lots of merriment, and there's even a costume contest.
Oh.
The person with the most outstanding outfit and mask wins a prize.
What's the prize?
What?
What's the prize?
I guess Thellum's here as well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I don't know. I've never won it.
Well,
usually I get beaten out by that Miss Blois.
Miss Blois?
Miss Blois. She wins every year. But I think this year I might have a chance. I've been working on something nice.
I'm gonna whisper to Endien. I think we should go to Miss Blois instead. This lady's never won.
Oh, she's not a tailor.
You heard me?
I have very sharp hearing.
Do you do her tailoring?
No.
I was going to say, it'd be like you won if you did the tailoring, but if she's... I don't want to make this more awkward than it is.
Oh, it's all right. I'll get to work. She gets your requests in. And she, and then she'll get that worked. You'll have it in time for it all fits well. It's all nice. You can describe it when we get to when we get there.
Can I do a side thing?
Yeah. What's the side thing?
Can I find out what costume Miss Blue Wall's gonna put on?
Espionage.
I was gonna say first you have to find out where. Here's what you got to do. You got to find out where Miss Blue Wall lives. Okay. You have to talk with her or see her outfit, and then figure out what's going on with it. I guess.
Is there a phone book?
There is not.
Gillivan.
You think Gillivan will know?
He should.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you can talk to him. You can figure it out.
Hey, Gillivan.
Oh, yes, Thellum.
Do you know a Miss Blue Wall?
Yes, of course. She attends my Fomorian Ball every year.
Interesting. Do you know where she lives?
Why do you ask?
Oh, nothing special. I just want to meet the people and learn their culture.
I'm sorry, Thellum. I normally would happily let you know, but I am pretty busy right now.
I need.
You can meet her at the ball. It'll be fine. You'll see all sorts of people there.
I think I need to study the people here for their culture right now.
Is there a reason you're so excited to meet these people?
Oh, I just want to learn the fashion here.
Oh, did Endien not bring you to Gale's boutique?
She did.
Oh, well, there you go. Gale's the best around.
I just wanna see.
Gale made those boots, actually.
Oh, cool. Now, Miss Blue Wall.
What? How do you know Miss Blue Wall?
A little birdie. Mr. Duval, please.
I'm sorry, Thellum. I'm pretty busy right now. I have a lot more to do for this yet. He said you'll get to see them when they're there at the ball.
Do you possibly know what kind of costume Miss Blue is gonna go with this ball?
No, not particularly. I'd like to leave that up to surprise for when I.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, are you worried about the costume contest?
Oh, no. I'm not. I just want to know her address.
Thellum being coy is my favorite thing.
Sorry, Thellum. I still have a little bit more work to do. Like I said, you can meet her when you're at the ball. And I do want to let you know, the thing you were asking about. It looks like it should be taken care of. We'll be dealing with that soon. So I'm not sure entirely when we're getting it done, but I know it's in the works.
Okay, that's amazing. But can you deal with my address situation?
Sorry, Thellum. I need to get to work right now.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'll let you do it. But if you ever wanna tell me, you know where to find me.
Yes, in the training room with Eduardo.
Do you know why Endien never joins us?
I'm not sure. I think she might just be intimidated, I think. Not a lot of good entry points in that. Most people don't spar 3 ways, but...
Hey, first time for everything.
Yeah, go ahead and invite her, I guess. Sorry, I just have a lot of planning right now. It's
Okay.
I did think of one thing I would like to do.
Yeah. And if you say find out Ms. Blua's address.
Absolutely not. Darius could not care less. I don't know. I know they have a library here. I don't know how extensive it is. But while we were on the boat over here, I did identify the King's Sword that Endien has.
Yeah.
Can I do like some basic research on that? Like what kingdom it may at least have come from? Like I'm not expecting to find like extensive information about it specifically, but at least I'm assuming since they are of semi-noble rank that they would have like histories of other noble houses and histories of that type of stuff here. So
yeah, go ahead and give me an investigation check.
Natural 20.
Oh my god!
20.
You find me that address.
So as you're looking through this, you are finding that maybe you might find like ancient history with like maybe more like local lineages or some other like royal branches. You find that there was a human kingdom long ago that was particularly notable from its ability to command the birds. And it's because on the, if you like, you're looking at the King's Sword, like the hilt, there is a engraved symbol of a bird with its wings spread. You probably didn't think much of it at the time when you were trying to like figure out what, because the magic is so beaming from it. But like looking through, you find like that symbol matches what you found in these books. You don't get a lot of information. It seems to be very sparse. There's like a offhand mention, like maybe someone wrote it in like the margins of one of the books, like a reference to it, but it's nothing like concrete in this library.
Cool. That's honestly all I was looking for. Just like a thread to look into when I have more resources available.
Are you kids ready?
Are you ready for
find
the
the address?
Eventually, Thellum, if you snoop around, Gail lets you know she lives on one of the other islands.
Got him. And you don't have a
swim. Swim.
I'd like to see you try. Yeah, I mean, if you guys are ready for the ball, I guess if you guys meet up, what is everyone wearing?
Wait.
Darius, start.
I can start. Darius, I think, isn't like knows it's a costume ball, but isn't like that's not totally his thing. So he has a light. I can upload it to our message thread. Yeah. I found a color palette for Darius, so it has a specific green that I'm thinking of. Yeah. But it's hard to describe. It's a lighter green, but it's not quite. It's more muted, but a green, standard like military adjacent clothing. So a jacket of some sort, trousers, probably like a cummerbund or sash or something of that sort. Not specifically a military uniform because he isn't really like associated with any, but in that vein.
Yeah. No, I know. I can picture what you're talking about with that, with like those ceremonial, formal wear. Yeah, very good.
And then I think the only thing he really uses as like his costume is the mask that he would have had made as part of it is kind of continuing that same green. It looks like foliage, and it's built essentially to make it look like not necessarily Darius's face, but a face is like looking out through a space in foliage. So it has and then like leaves and all that type of stuff. But then where his eyes actually would be is darker, and then if possible, like very slightly like reflective for his eyes, as if someone's looking through the darkness through a break in the foliage.
Well, I mean, because you have dark vision, your eyes would naturally have that reflective nature to it.
Yeah, so I think there's like just recessed a little bit and then darker around the actual eye holes as well to achieve that look.
Like you're in the foliage waiting to pounce. Like a big cat. Endien? Thellum?
Thellum?
Endien.
So she didn't go as extravagant because she didn't have the things from her course, so there's not like leaves falling off her dress or anything like there would have been. But it is like a it's like a red maroon dress that as it goes down and like the bottom flourishes out a little bit, it slowly starts to melt into more of a black towards the bottom, and it trails behind her. The top, like, it's not spaghetti strap, but it's not like a ton of fabric up top either. And then for her mask, it's made of wood, so it like blends into where her scars on her face are with the wood growing there. And the sides flare out into branches, almost like those masks they're supposed to look like wings, but it's all wood and branches instead. And then on the side that does have the scarring to help kind of pretty it up, so it, like, again, that's supposed to look like part of the mask, but to make it look a little more colorful, she's got like 3 black-eyed Susan flowers above where the mask is, like above where her ear is too, in her hair. For those who don't know what black-eyed Susans are, they're these flowers that have a big black center, and then around them are yellow petals, and they're usually an autumn blooming flower. And then she only has brought the king's sword with her, and it's diagonal on her back.
Exciting. Thellum, what do you got?
Thellum went all out to beat up Blue Wall. So Thellum has dyed his hair to a white pearlescent kind of color, and his color scheme for his little number is the same color as his hair, black, and silver. And he has like a little scarf situation going on. Ooh. The scarf would be the black color, and then he'd be using his jacket as like a cape, and like he'd hang it on his shoulders but not put his arms through it, type of thing. And that would be the white pearl, and then his shirt and pants would be the black, but he'd have a little he'd undo like 3 buttons off the top.
Ooh.
And then he'd have
being a dirty farm boy.
He wants to win. And and then he has a little corset situation. With the corset would be like I wouldn't say it's metal, but it's a metallic kind of like color. The black, a metallic black. Chrome?
Like gunmetal?
Sure. And it would have a little butterfly design on it, which would match his butterfly mask, which is the same color as his hair. I want to win.
I have no sense of style, so I had to go very plain with my description. Kyle over here.
Thellum has either watched some really good action films or has just been spotting Eileen reading romance novels.
You saw all of his outfits for Nervina.
Yeah, no, I know.
This is Kyle's, what's it called? Not expertise.
Wheelhouse.
Wheelhouse, there you go.
It's his lane, his wheelhouse lane. A lane going right through that wheelhouse. Okay. You realize, you guys are getting ready. You're getting prepped. Oh, yeah, you got something?
Yes, before we go in, as we kind of like meet, I'm assuming we all kind of gather up as we be entered together.
That's what I was describing. Yeah, you guys meeting up.
Yes. Darius would take out his tools, like his multi-purpose tool that he always has on him, and says, now, I mean, I can do a little extra zhuzhen up, and I'm going to use magical tinkering, and on Endien's mask, I can create an odor, which is perceivable up to 10 feet away, and it's going to be like the smell of leaves and soil as you're walking through the forest in autumn, like that very earthy, kind of dry, but slightly moist, like forest scent.
I'm smelling real moist right now.
That real earthy, dry, moist scent.
I realized it's not as dry, but
no, I get what you're smelling.
Like the smell of clay.
Yeah, kinda. From Endien. I don't know what I can do, or if there's anything.
Turnips.
I mean, like, because I can do 3 more things on 3 more objects. So I can make something glow, so it can have light on it for 5 feet.
Oh,
like
make my mask glow.
Make his glow. I was gonna say you could make his coat billow.
They never see it.
I can't do that unless you would allow it. Rules, like how it's written, I can do very minor things. Yeah, I'll totally make Thellum's mask glow. I can also, I can do a message, but that's not exactly the thing. We can do odors or sounds, which are perceivable up to 10 feet away, and then I can do static, shapes, lines, or text as well, if there's anything in that sense you would like to enhance.
Thellum can wear sunglasses that have the message that scroll across.
I was gonna say, normally you could just do that with a Sharpie. Okay.
Good.
So we're all together.
We're all
earthy
together
smell,
now.
glowing mask. Did you do anything for yourself, or?
No.
Okay.
Darius isn't looking to win anything.
Okay. You guys seen
except
a blue
for
wall?
the heart of another.
Have you guys seen a blue wall?
I don't know who to be looking for that. You'll probably have to either look for the most extravagant person in there or do some networking.
You see Thellum run off with a lighter.
Dang.
All right, well,
Thellum runs off
have
with
to
a lighter.
address that soon.
You guys chase after him. So I guess as you guys approach the main hall, you can hear like very lively chatter and music coming from the other side of these large ornate double doors. And as you open them, you are presented with a large room with high ceilings and with people dressed in fashionable dresses, fancy suits, and decorative masks, ranging from small enough to cover the eyes to large ornate masks with feathers and flowers. Instead of the bright lights of chandeliers and light spells, instead the entire room is lit with a glaze of amber produced by small torches, allowing for a more cozy and warm environment. The light contrasts sharply with the dark crevices and corners of the room. The flickering makes it seem as though the dark is lapping at the festivities, but must shy away before long. The chatter you heard has erupted into louder gossip and laughter, and the music underlies it all with a mix of old and modern orchestral and jazz music. The smell of flavorful meats, sweet fruits, and roasted fish drift from the west side as a banquet table is displayed for visitors to take from, and where you have gaps in the smell of food and wine lies a floral perfumed atmosphere. There's people all around, dancing, laughing, enjoying the festivities. Do you have anything specific you'd like to do?
Burn. Blue wall's dress.
Are you just looking for whoever has the best outfit?
Yes.
Okay. You light yourself on fire.
No. Law twist.
Yeah, I guess Thellum just charges into the crowd looking to find who his competition is so he can definitely win.
Endien, now standing at 5'11" because of her heels. It looks, is there like drinks somewhere?
Yeah, like I said, there's a banquet table to the west with just lined with different foods and wines and drinks, just in a large assortment. You notice like a lot of them are like tropical fruits, a lot of fish heavily because you are in a island nation. So there's a lot of that kind of food. A lot of pork. There is some beef, some poultry, maybe like pheasants or otherwise.
Before heading over there, she's going to scan the crowd to see if she can make out any familiar faces behind the masks. She's been secretly hoping for one since hearing about the ball, but knows it's not likely, but just gonna look in general for if she can notice any faces.
You see, as you're like walking slowly through the crowd, taking in the different people around you, you notice someone a little bit ways across the room. They look kind of familiar, but it's hard to really tell. As you get closer and you approach, you think it could possibly look similar to Silas, but I think as you approach, you can definitely start to tell by the mannerisms that no, this is just Gillivan Dubois. You see he's in a white suit with a small white mask, and he is chatting with a woman with long red hair and also in a white dress and a larger white mask.
I will retrieve wine, preferably Elven, if I can, and then I'd go over to them to engage in conversation. And then I kind of look to Darius. I'm like, I don't know your plans for this event.
I think as like Thellum immediately starts like weaving in and out of the crowd, and Endien is like
the lighter.
And even as Endien is like scanning for faces that she recognizes, he would just say, "Don't worry about me. You go enjoy yourself. I'll make do on my own. Don't you worry about it."
All right. Glides off. Can't even hear the sound of her heels as she walks.
Yeah, just swiftly move through the crowd. Oh, Endien, you made it. Oh, what a spectacular outfit.
Thank you very much, Mr. Dubois. A fine outfit you have on as well.
Oh, well, thank you. I see Gale put a little bit more effort into yours than mine, but I think this does well. Have you met my date? She is a high priestess. And she is here with me today, and we decided to get some matching outfits.
She will extend her hand to her and say, it's a pleasure to meet you, miss.
No, the pleasure's all mine. I prefer to just go as the priestess.
Priestess?
We are in masquerade, after all. It would be a shame to spoil the mystery.
Of course. She has like a twinge in her eye for a second, like, oh, titles only. The recent events that she has been a part of that require titles only. Not to pry, Mr. Dubois, Lord Dubois, what should I address you as?
Gillivan's fine.
Gillivan, you wouldn't happen to have any relatives attending today, would you?
Bit of relatives, I suppose. We do live here.
All right. Just find it very awkward to try and pry further into which relatives without coming across as I know one of them.
Excuse me if I'm prying too much, but are you looking for a suitor?
No. I was just curious. Never mind that I asked.
No worries. And it wasn't intended to pry too much if you were uncomfortable.
Of course. No, I was just curious as to the formality of the event, I suppose.
Yes, well, it's fine to let loose here. You don't have to worry too much and enjoy the mystery of the masquerade and just do as you would.
If I were to be looking for a suitor, say I was out of, I am a loss for words tonight, the correct words. Who should I be looking to?
I'd say most of the elves in the ball here are of the Dubois clan. So finding one of them would probably... if that's not your style, I know there's a few, I guess, gentlemen who just never found time to settle down in the area. If you have preferences, I can give you recommendations.
No, I'll just hyperbole is not the word. I think it starts with an H, but I can't think of it. Anyway, no, just Just a question. I forget what I was going to ask you next, so I'll just leave you to your date.
Yes, well, enjoy the rest of the ball. Priestess, shall we?
I just thought of what I was going to say. Do you recognize everybody here?
Give or take.
Just questioning. All right, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, of course. No.
Oh, hey,
no
Gillivan.
Oh. Thellum, you
What's that accent?
Oh, you are very dashing.
Thank you. Where's Blue Wall?
She was here a moment ago. I didn't see where she got off to.
What does she look like as he has something behind his back?
She was wearing a brilliant yellow dress.
Yellow. It's about to be more yellow.
And
Well,
just like
excuse
cocks
you?
her head out. What?
Well, I didn't say anything.
Okay, all right. Oh, and I'll let you know, the costume contest will be in a few hours.
I got a few hours.
Yes, now, excuse me, priestess. And he goes off to dance.
Thellum, I believe Darius was looking for you. Did you speak with him?
He's He's looking. He's not paying attention. He is not paying attention to everything you said.
Okay.
Thellum, I highly suggest that you don't tamper with the other guests' outfits.
I won't burn it, but I might run into them with a glass full of
Okay.
punch.
Like you're about to say we're on anyone through him with a gun.
Just be very discreet about it. Don't be too obvious with it.
It's okay. I've watched
I'd hate to
a
have you
scope
get
like this
kicked out.
with Eileen before. I know how this goes. He runs off again.
Okay, he's on the hunt
Just
for the
drink
yellow
some
dress.
more wine. I need more of these.
What's Darius doing in the meantime?
Darius is looking for the people that were invited because they hold, like, not social power, but, like, high academics, head of guilds, like the people that are not working class, but of that type where it's like, you invite them to balls, but balls aren't necessarily their thing either. Like, but they go because it's expected of them, that, like, level of the crowd.
Yeah, you see there are some armchairs off to the side. You see a table in the middle. There's there's a elderly woman and an elderly man. They each have a glass of wine and a very small plate of fish between them, and like another third plate of just some fruit they're sharing as they're sitting there. And you can see they're like very animated in whatever it is that they're discussing.
Yeah, I would walk over with a light drink. Darius doesn't drink much, so but would walk over and say, if you don't, I don't mean to interrupt, but you seem to be having quite the conversation. I was wondering what may be your topic of choice tonight.
Well, of course. Are you a fellow academic?
I dabble in it. Academic may be a bit strong, but I've spent my fair time in the library.
Oh, of course. Well, my colleague Jane and I, my name is Phil. We're actually from the Darius University in Lazaret. We were just discussing some of the theories resolving around Fomoria.
What? I can't say I have spent much time pondering any lunar theories. What? If you care to give me a crash course in it, I'd love to hear about it.
We were just discussing the role the Fomorian moon plays in our world, and maybe the relative gravitational connection of arcane magic here in whatever magical forces must also then reside upon the moon. Yes, and I was saying, there's no way that the Fomorian moon would have anything relative to the magic we have here, because it is a celestial body created independent of the place we are here. And I'm saying, because we all live in the same basic material world, that it has to be the same concepts that link between here and there.
This is a question for the DM. Because I know the material plane / world has been remade, I believe we're on the third world at this point.
Yeah.
Would that include like the celestial bodies as well that were remade during these times as well?
Yes.
So Darius would then say, well, I mean, if we are to be under the assumption that during the creation of this third world that we are now living in, that the celestial bodies were remade as well, then it would be simple deduction and transitive property that they very well could have arcane magics and even natural magics as part of them, as our world does as well.
Yes, that's exactly what I was saying. And it's more likely that it is than not. Oh, but you know the rumors. They say, if you look, deep into ancient lore, they've only ever recorded one moon. So we don't even know that Fomoria could possibly be created here. If it just popped into existence from something, there's no way we could possibly know that Fomoria is of the same energies.
Have we ever? I don't want to take up too much.
Yeah, no. I was gonna get to, and that's basically the kind of discussion that they get into. Thellum,
is that lady wearing a yellow dress?
No. They're both wearing like some nice, like sensible brown and gray clothing.
They're
not too fancy.
For a good second, Darius will see Thellum march up to the group, quickly glance at the lady, then speed walk away.
Yeah.
In between seeing that, Darius is going to send a quick message to Thellum and just say, "Behave yourself. We're still guests here." That's you can respond if you want, but that's
all you hear is must find lady, must find lady, must find.
He is consumed. Yeah, so basically the night goes on. Thellum is ducking in and out looking for this lady. Like, he'll see her across the room, he'll go to her, try to run to her, but she's not there anymore, and she's somewhere else. And he's like basically searching all around. I don't know if you guys partake in any food. I don't know if Thellum partakes in any food or drink because of his mission.
He's gonna get tired out.
He's gonna what?
He's gonna get tired out eventually.
Yeah. Eventually, at some point, you're like getting really frustrated, so you'll just make a beeline to the table and just eat like a chicken leg or something like that. And I guess basically as time goes on, you start to notice guests passing around like these small leaves to each other. Like, you notice at first like a little bit, and then you realize like it seems to be like people all around you are all like spreading around this leaf. Each of the guests, you notice they take the leaf and then they like dip it into their glass of wine. Eventually, a woman with a black star-shaped mask near one of you might be like, take some leaves, like has like a few leaves, and then tries to pass one on to you guys. So it's the same lady like passing around, you notice, and she'll hit up to you guys individually.
I would take one, but then ask like to my companions, just ask, I'm not familiar with this custom.
Oh, I think it's tea. He puts it in his drink.
Okay.
Damn it, hypothetically. Am I? Yeah, that's the word she was trying to think of.
3 hours later, she's like, hypothetically.
Is this something I'm familiar with?
No. I don't think any of you would be familiar. You question her, she's like, oh, it won't hurt you. It's just for tonight's thrill.
Is it a drug?
Not exactly.
So it's a drug.
It's a drug that they want us to take.
What does it do exactly?
Just it's for tonight's thrill. It's fine. You dip it in the wine, you consume it, and it helps make everything a little bit more enjoyable. You don't have to take it if you don't like, but I was just passing around as I'm to do.
Thank you.
Darius just pockets the leaf. He doesn't dip it in.
He pockets the leaf? Sorry, did Endien take it or not take it?
Not yet. She's still holding it.
Oh, she's still holding it. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Yeah, so she leaves and starts to
Leaves.
Oh, huh.
Oh my God.
She starts to walk off to hand it to more people. Thellum, if you dip it in your drink, you find that the leaf dissolves into it, and if you sip it, it just has like a little extra bit of tart to it.
Oh, he downs it.
Yeah.
He's pissed. He can't find Blue Wall. And then he'll walk up to the others. So you guys find out what this drink was about?
You're pretty
about
sure
to.
it's a psychedelic of sorts.
What's a psychedelic?
Makes you see things.
Can I find Blue Wall, buddy? He starts looking again.
Yeah.
Kyle makes me sad that this isn't a video podcast. Even just watching him, when you and Adam were doing the scientific portion, watching Kyle's face there, that was my favorite.
My suggestion is people spread the podcast. We get really popular. And we do live shows. So I guess a little bit of time starts going on. I guess as you're waiting to see where exactly the ball is headed towards, you all realize the murmur of your fellow guests and dancers seem to have faded until you realize that you don't hear it anymore. However, the music sounds like it's echoing more, and it's getting louder, but also harder to follow. Finding yourselves needing to try and focus to stay present in the situation, you might find yourself trying to follow the movement of the guests as they waltz, something to focus on. You know, it's like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And your eyes follow them, their masks showing harsh angles and dark monsters, but your vision is going blurry. You try to keep using the simple logic to stay focused. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. This is a party. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The guests are dancing. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. There is music. 1, 2, blackout.
Hate it.
Even when we didn't drink the leaf, it was just a ploy.
Darius. As you open your eyes, you find yourself laying down in a small room. The faint sound of buzzing fills the room, and as you're staring at the ceiling, you realize there are several crystals emanating light. They all seem cracked, however, and you think the magic lighting those cracked crystals is probably producing the hum. The last thing you remember is being at the ball. And you remember the blackout, and this is, boom, where you've woken up. Your eyes glance around to see what room you're in, and see the walls and ceilings are all supposed to be off-white, but they look like they've been yellowing for a long time. There's dusty cobwebs in the corners, and that tells you that it's likely from years of smoking in this room. Dark stains also cover some of the walls, likely a large amount of mold on the other side. The room smells damp and stale, so the mold theory is likely correct. However, one thing you can't figure out is, why are you tied down to this bed? A white stained sheet covers your body from the neck down, and as you idly lay there trying to figure out what's going on, you find yourself starting to itch and itch and itch, which is very inconvenient because you're tied down. You think likely if you ignore it, it'll just go away, like as if at night when you're trying to sleep and your body tries to distract you. But it isn't going away. The itch is very persistent. It's on your stomach, your chest, your legs, your arms, and it starts to feel itchy everywhere. You try to call out to whoever must be in the place, but your throat is dry. You make some light noise, but even that it hurts to get out. An hour goes by, and you know this because you count the time to figure out how long you're going to be here. And as you wait, you try your hardest but you're unable to make any noise and unable to fix this itching. It just isn't stopping. Eventually, a door opens up, and the airflow lets in a cloud of stagnant pipe smoke. 2 hobgoblin men enter the room. "Oh dear, he's awake again," says the first one. "He should have stayed under the anesthetics. He's too stubborn for his own good," says the second one, as the first one starts assembling a tray of tools. Scalpels, mirrors, gloves, tongs, pliers, and so forth. All of which look caked in a dry, crusty residue. The other man removes your sheet, revealing the source of the itching. Scabs and boils line your entire body. The air touching your skin makes it only itch more. And you see there are patches of sores on your body that look as though someone scratched chunks out of your skin. The stranger with the tools in hand, the stranger with the tools hands the other man a pair of pliers. "I know you've been dreading this, Darius, but we have to take that tooth out. You're gonna lose it either way, but it'll be a whole lot better if you get it out before it gets infected like the other 3. Then he just reaches the pliers into your mouth and grabs onto your top left fang. He looks like he's measuring just how much force to put into that pull. His face only inches from your own as he eyes it up. You start to wonder when he's going to do it. When he starts coughing harshly into your face, causing him to jolt his arm, and he rips your fang out while smashing the cold, hard pliers down onto your bottom teeth, breaking one of them. He reels back to gain his composure as blood flows between your teeth, down your cheek, and also some back into your throat, causing you to cough as you choke it down. However, that bit of blood gives you enough moisture to finally call out.
I don't know if Darius says anything. I think, seeing how he fucked up my tooth,
Yeah.
I would spit out some of the blood and then say, "How did I end up here with you couple of hacks and your hack job here?"
Oh, there he goes again. Darius, I've told you before. You've always been here. You need to stop it. You need to realize what's real and what's not. You've just been delusional for way too long. You're in your home where you always are, Darius. Don't bother, he won't listen. He's sick. His brain is boiling over in disease. Look at his house. He lives in shit. And now his mind is shit. He's a filthy pig. Yes, but don't you worry, Darius. We're going to fix you. We've got a special treatment for you today. We're going to cut you open and scrape all that filth out. And the second one takes a scalpel from his tray and presses it down on top of your sternum and slowly traces it down to the bottom of your stomach, letting your skin peel open like curtains. You try to look away as though that might make it hurt less, and the buzzing in the room gets louder. And you realize the reason you're looking away is because you figured out the true source of the buzzing. You can feel the scraping of a blade against your bone, and you look down at the operation. They're scraping what looks like a black ichor from your bones, but that's not it. They're scraping swarms of buzzing flies from the lining of your insides. And you throw up. Darius! You need to behave yourself! Enough of these tantrums! I'm sick of dealing with you day in and day out. You need to get your head in the game here. No more delusions, you hear me? We're going to fix you, and we're going to fix you today. But if you keep this up, we're not going to feed you anymore. You just throw it up every time, you useless pig. Answer me when you're spoken to, Darius. And you find, as you try, you're unable to get out any more words. Maybe it's because you're huffing too much, or maybe that burnt your throat or something, but you're unable to answer. Oh, you'll be lucky if you aren't left to rot here, Darius. And they start, yelling at you, Darius! Darius, answer! Darius! 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 Endien, your eyes open back up to the attendees of the ball. You see that the lights are dimmer and the darkness creeps in a little more than it had been. You see a yellow haze in the air, making the place look a little more ethereal. The entire crowd is stopped and looking in your direction. There's a slight pause until you hear from the crowded man yell, "All bow to Princess Vilviste!" And they all drop and bow. After they rise up again, they part, forming an aisle for you, almost in unison, leading up to a throne. You find yourself hesitant to walk to it at first, unsure of what's going on, but you feel your body start to move on its own, dragging and pulling your limbs towards the throne. You look at your arms and legs, and the light shimmers just enough to reveal strings attached to your body, leading deep into the darkness above, past your dark vision. The same voice yells out, "Please take your seat upon the throne, princess!" And soon you find yourself being sat into the seat by force as you are puppeted there. As you stare out to all the people looking up at you, they all start applauding you. One says to you, "What do you say, princess?"
What's happening here? I shouldn't be up here.
They all stare at you for a moment, and as soon as they know you're done, they just start to cheer and applaud harder at the decree you have given them.
Why are you cheering for that? Somebody answer me.
They all start just cheering louder and louder until you hear from the darkness a familiar voice boom out. "Now that Princess Endien is seated upon the throne, we can start the trial." It's your father's voice. The crowd parts a bit, and standing in the middle is Javin the troll, cuffed at the wrists.
"Father, what's happening? What's going on?"
"Now, on your honor as a princess of the court, Endien, do you swear to speak only the truth in this hearing?"
"I don't know what's going... How can I speak the truth without I don't know what's happening here?"
"Endien, tell everyone here, are you familiar with this creature?"
I mean, yes, I am.
"And when did you meet this troll?"
He was the one that he took the unicorn from our forest.
And as you say that, you find Javin starts to smile, a slow creep upon his face. And it doesn't look like he's smiling because of the job you just described. It just seems like he knows something you don't. But it's hard to really think about it because the crowd, as you've answered, just cheers harder and applauds louder. "So, you agree that during your duties to protect the royal forest, you allowed this creature to come in and murder one of its most precious inhabitants?"
I didn't allow it to happen. I tried to stop him. I wasn't strong enough. I wasn't capable enough yet.
"And so, Princess Endien is guilty of letting poachers hunt in the royal forest."
"No, I didn't
Is
let
what
him.
I would say. But we know that is not the case. And the crowd is just applaud after applaud, almost nonstop, as you're looking out at them. Their figures are more in silhouette at this point, and as the way the light's shining down on them, mixed with your dark vision, their masks make them almost look uniform. Just a dark silhouetted body with a white mask with a permanent smile on them, as they all stare directly at you. And like I said, the light seems to be decreasing as if it's only a spotlight on you and Javin. And as your focus on the audience gets broken when you hear your mother from the darkness. "Princess Endien has been led astray. She, as a diligent member of the royal family, would never choose to side with poachers. So when we got the word that she has on several occasions been associated with poachers, we knew she was being controlled by someone else. And the strings on your body jolt you into a standing position as a new area of light appears near Javin, revealing Thellum also cuffed at the wrists.
What?
"Princess Endien, are you familiar with this creature?"
"Yes. What's happening here?"
"When did you meet this genasi?"
That's recently, a few months ago, maybe.
And as you say that, Javin starts out in a low chuckle. So, you agree that you were led astray and controlled by this spy?
I didn't say... He's not a spy. He's just a farmhand that's looking to become a hero. I'm training him. He's not a spy. What are you trying to say here?
Of course, he would convince you of that if he were trying to control you. Now, Princess Endien, you have a choice to make in this trial. You will be the final judge in who is guilty of this crime. You find the strings on your body pulling out a bow from near the throne and forcing you to knock an arrow in it, making you pull it back ready to fire. If you wish to fulfill your duties to show that you are truly ready to lead, you will shoot the guilty spy, Thellum. And the crowd cheers at this. If you admit that you are a traitor to your people and allowed this poacher to hunt in our lands, then you shall shoot the troll, and you will be stripped of all honor and ties to this kingdom, banished never to return again.
First off, I missed the logic there, but second off, Thellum is not a spy. He would never do that.
Make your choice. Either kill the guilty spy, or admit your guilt in working with the poacher. Which do you shoot, Princess Endien?
How much control do I have currently of where I shoot?
You feel like you're able to aim it for sure.
Do I see like things in the room, or does it just go into blackness forever?
It eventually just goes into blackness.
She's gonna shoot Jabin.
Okay. The crowd erupts in raucous applause and cheers as you let loose the arrow, and it strikes Thellum in the heart.
But
So your choice has been made.
No, that's not...
Hey, you want to protest. You know this wasn't your choice.
She looks crestfallen because she knows it doesn't matter.
Yeah, because you know the strings made you do it.
Mm-hmm.
You watch your bow drop as you hang there like a marionette of flesh and blood. You look back up to see the lighting gets brighter and brighter again, and all the guests are all dancing and cheering and partying and applauding as Thellum lay there dead. As you hang there, you see one of the members of the party come up from the crowd. It's the priestess. She pulls out an arrow and cuts one of your strings. And that stings as though it was a part of your own body. Here, let me get that for you. And she cuts another string, and you wince in pain. You're such a brave little princess. She cuts another one and yells, "All hail the princess! She cut her own strings all by herself." And she cuts another string off, and your body collapses into the throne. You still find you don't have the ability to move any part of your body. The woman climbs up onto your limp body, getting face to face, speaking to you so only you can hear. You won't have to worry about pretending to be worth your title anymore. The puppet princess has cut her strings, and she can just let the world around her do the work for her. Even as everyone carries you, you can still pretend that it's you who's flying. And she lifts up her mask, and it strikes you that it's Erica. I believe you said the second arrow won't miss? Well, you can't blame your strings now, princess. Everyone else has to pick up your slack or die trying. And she stabs the arrow she was holding into her own heart, blood erupting from her chest and from her mouth as she starts laughing loudly while dancing on your limp body. The blood starts to cover and soak the both of you as she dances out of control, and she yells out, "All hail the puppet princess, guardian of her own shame, never making amends to those who die in her care." Instead, she pretends to chase a man who doesn't even know who she is. And the crowd erupts into applause and a chant, "Endien, Endien, Endien." Thellum, as your eyes open back up, you are greeted by a thick blanket of smoke. And you can hear the roaring crackle of a large fire, and it hits you as you realize what's going on. You are standing in the middle of a burning village. Somewhere, buried under the sounds of burning, you can make out the faint sound of cries coming from somewhere nearby, like, Help! 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 You can start charging your way through the town, looking out for whoever it is that's in need of help. And as you get through, you can't find them. It's like you're looking all around and you can't find who you're looking for. But the cries are getting louder, and you realize there's more and more people calling out. But you're just not seeing anyone here.
Can I try figure out where I am?
I'd say the biggest problem here is, I guess, as you're looking around, it's hard to recognize if you do know this place, just because it seems like everything is being burnt down. And I guess as you're like looking at it, you realized this couldn't have been a destruction of like a simple accident. This looks planned. Like someone must be behind this.
I would look for my friend, Darius and Endien.
Yeah, okay. So you start running around, looking for them. It's hard to you're trying to find, you think the voices are getting louder. You feel like you're making headway. As you're stopping to get your bearings, I guess, you notice that off to the side, you're getting near the end of the edge of town, right? And you start hearing a little bit of a river too, and you hear the voices getting louder. But as you're getting distracted, can I get a dexterity save?
23.
23. All right. So as you're looking out, trying to figure out where you're going, one of the structures near you gives in to the sweltering heat and collapses, but you're able to jut out just in time as this billowing smoke flies out. But it does start to fill your lungs. So you might find that you instinctively reach up to your straw hat and you cover your mouth and nose somewhat to filter out any of the smoke that you can. As you start heading towards the edge of town, you're making your way. The cries reach a crescendo, and then silence. You rush towards to see what you can find there, see if you can still help them. There must be still time because you're nearby. And you find yourself in a sudden stop. Before you are dozens of villagers tied up near a riverbank. And it looks like Darius is ungagging someone.
I would help.
As you run over to start trying to help untie, Darius just starts to scold you. Thellum, what are you just about done? What are you doing here?
What's going on?
No, we're tying them up.
Oh,
and then you realize, no, he wasn't untying this. He is tying this person to silence them. Now, the fire's been blazing for a while now. Did you get lost?
Wait, what's going on? Why are you tying this person? I go back to untying.
He tries to wrest them out of here, and you hear Endien. Yes, Thellum, we have a lot to do. If you're done burning the village down, then can you get to work drowning the targets?
Target?
They'll put up no resistance now.
What these guys do? We're just at a party. Can we throw the dress in there?
Frustrated to your responses, Darius snaps back. What do you mean, Thellum? We're on a job, and this was your idea. If we don't take out these villagers, then we don't get paid. Now get to work. And you see the scared villagers in front of you. But, if Darius and Endien say that's the plan, then they must deserve it, right? You wouldn't do this normally. They'd have to be bad guys.
But they do.
Yeah, you're not sure, but you find yourself walking over to the river, and you see a selection of people. But it wouldn't matter who you chose first, because if they all have to go, and apparently it's your plan to do this, Thellum. Maybe you close your eyes because you're resistant and you really don't want to do this, and you're trying to just stall or something. So you close your eyes and you grab the hair of the on the back of the person closest to you, and you open your eyes and you see a man in about his mid-50s. There's a terror in his eyes, but he's a target. He deserves this. And you bring him to the water, and you push his head down close to the water, ready to drown him. You can feel everyone watching you. Darius, Endien, and all the other villagers. And you plunge the man down into the water, Thellum, and you find he can barely resist you. The oxygen bubbles flood out of his mouth and nose. And as you're looking down on him, you see your reflection. Your face and jaw are more square and chiseled than usual. Your skin is a reddish clay color, and your hair is back to this shaggy, dark brown. But the biggest change of all, you realize you're smiling as you drown this man. As you're finding yourself lost in your own reflection, the man has long passed drowned, but you leave him in there. Darius and Endien start getting impatient with you. And they're trying to call out your name to snap you out of it because there's a lot to do. They just yell at you. Thellum! 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 And you circle back these calls of Thellum! Thellum! Darius! 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 Endien! 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 And these chants slowly start to mix together and slowly morph into the voice of Gillivan Dubois. Darius! Endien! Thellum! Hello? Are you doing all right? You've been zoned out in the corner of the ballroom for some time. The Fomorian Ball is almost over. Did you take the mute leaf?
Did I win?
Oh, no, I'm sorry, but you've missed the costume contest. Because you've been sitting over here, lost in your thoughts, I guess. Must have had too much wine. The Elvish wine's good. It'll get you that way. No, I believe Miss Blue... Oh, yes, Miss Blue won with this exquisite and lovely outfit. Oh, and Thellum, I just wanted to let you know, since last we talked, that thing we discussed, hopefully within the month, you'll get it.
Are there people tied up?
Okay, actually, sorry, I'll contact you when things are going well. I'm sorry. It looks like I'm being waved down by the priestess. You all try to enjoy what's left of the night, and Gillivan finds himself swiftly pushed into the crowd as you guys are left awake at the ball.
What was the job?
Priestess from where we are?
Yeah, you can see her from there. So she's waving him down.
Is she noticeably, now that I've had that vision, does she look familiar at all?
She looks like she could be Erica. You'd have to, see her without the mask on or something, I think.
I don't like that. Are both of you all right?
Darius, as soon as he is conscious again, casts Detect Magic.
Yeah, you're feeling a little bit of lingering magic in the air. That perfumey smell seems to have been some kind of... I don't want to say psychedelic, like magic psychedelic, but it feels like it has hints of the second world in it.
I mean, I don't appreciate what just happened to me.
Sam.
Did we have a job? Were we doing a job?
Thellum, did you also have vision? You had drank what they called the mute leaf, but you still had visions?
Leaves can talk?
No. Yes, no. You have to... It's a long story. So you were still affected even though you had that leaf.
What? Everything was burning.
It's not
that was
real.
Red.
It wasn't real, or... I don't know what it was.
I've had about enough of this ball and this island and this family.
I very much agree.
I summon up my clockwork, which has been somewhere on my person or hiding in amongst the leaves of my mask type of situation, and say, I am going to leave. They'll be able to find me, and I'll pass them over to Endien. If y'all need assistance or anything, they'll help you, but I will have no more part of this.
Thellum, how are you feeling?
He'll take off his layers that he's wearing. Practically go shirtless. I don't know.
I don't know what you experienced, but if it was anything like what I went through, it's probably a lot. We can retire for the evening.
Okay.
But I would like to check on something, so I'll be up not too long after.
Thellum picks up his belongings and slowly walks
dropped
to his
everything
room.
on the floor.
So I'm assuming Endien's gonna stake out the priestess.
Yes. So you have to put an arrow in her.
Before Darius leaves, it only lasts for a minute, but I will cast Sanctuary on Endien.
Okay. Yeah, so you start heading, you might find yourself, you might observe her at first, like you would a prey. It's hard to get anything out of that. Then you might go up to them, maybe talk to them a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And as you're talking to them just a little bit, they seem like they have different voices.
Okay. Can I try and get an insight on how she's looking at me? Like if she has some kind of malice she's trying to hold back?
Yeah, go for it.
Endien, what is your modifier? 19.
The way she looks at you doesn't seem like, I guess, just there's no like malice, there's no anger, there's no recognition, I guess, of you in any specific way. And you know she would know your name because Gil said it in front of her.
Mm-hmm.
So if she knew it was you, you would like maybe see any kind of that, but you're not getting any kind of recognition from her.
Well, it was a pleasure meeting you, and thank you, Gillitzer. What the fuck's your name?
Gilvin?
And Gilvin, thank you for the invite, but I must retire for the evening.
Oh, well, no problem. I'm glad you guys can make it. Oh, the Fomorian Ball is very special around these parts.
Yes, very special indeed.
I'm sure it was nothing for you all, but
yes.
for us who mostly stay around the island, you know, it's a bit of a thrill that we don't normally get. But for you, you've seen it all, so I'm sure you are doing well. Especially if you took the mute leaf. I couldn't imagine. It'd be terrible if you didn't.
Yes. Maybe for future guests, obviously fine for us, but guests that are uninformed don't have a person who speaks vaguely about what the leaf does handed in out. Good evening. Also, hypothetically was the word I was thinking of earlier.
I don't know what she's talking about.
I knew it the whole time.
And with that, we can end the night, we can end the party, and we can end this episode. It was a bit of a little long one. Not mean for it to be this long. There was a bit of a length to it. But if you want to talk to me about Long, you
yeah, you do.
You can find me at Bumblecum, that's with a K, on Twitter. You can talk about the show and how to have a good time at a ball at IDL_RPGS. If you would like to talk about scraping flies off your bones, you can tweet at Adam. I never thought I would get worse than like the last few suggestions, like topics I talked about, but those are getting worse. You can tweet at Little Growth. That's Adams. If you would like to talk about not knowing what the hell is going on, like you're in some Kafka-esque nightmare, you can talk to BakaZombie and Zombie Baka on the Twitter. And sorry, you can't really talk to Kyle because you're gagged by the river.
He's drowning you in the river, holding your head under.
Yeah. All right, bye.